Alrighty, hello. And tonight's homework, you are going to take your combined like terms, your distributive, and you're going to put them together to work smarter, not harder. And we're going to do that with the perimeter and the area. We're also going to learn how to evaluate expressions today as well. So to start off with, it says create an expression for the perimeter of the rectangle below. And we want to think to ourselves, how can we work smarter and not harder? And when I say working smarter, not harder, typically I'm talking about using a distributive property to help make your math more simple. Well, first of all, you need to know that each dimension is represented on the opposite side. So we have a 3 there. We have a 2x plus 5 here. Now, if we go to do the perimeter, of course, we can add all 4 sides up, and then we'll figure out what the total is. But easier than that, I can say to myself, well, I've got 2 of the 2x plus 5s. So for my perimeter, why can't I say 2 times 2x plus 5? Because I have 2 of them. So that covers this side and this side. Now I only have the 3's to worry about, which you can put plus 6, but just to get you used to using the distributive property, you can say you have 2 3's. So you're going to add 2 of your 3's. Then from here, you'll simplify. So pause the video, take a second, simplify, and then when you unpause the video, check your answer with mine. Okay, if you need to see it done, here we go. We've got 2 times 2x, which gives us a 4x, 2 times 5, which is 10, and 2 times 3, which is 6. Simplify from here, we get the total perimeter. The expression for the perimeter will be 4x plus 6. And we'll go ahead and put a big circle around this so that we know. Hopefully you got it right. If you didn't, hopefully you at least saw your mistakes. All right, the second one. Can we create an expression for the area? Well, we know the area is base times height. So if you think you know what to do from here, pause the video, give it a shot, see if your answer is correct. For this particular rectangle, we know that we can say the base is either 3 or 2x plus 5. I like to say it's 2x plus 5. So we have 2x plus 5. And then our height is 3. Now, the way that I wrote this, it might not be very obvious, but this is the distributive property. You can write it differently by saying 3 times 2x plus 5. Because you're just taking your base and your height and you're multiplying them together. This expression simplifies to 6x plus 15. So the area can be represented by the expression 6x plus 15. So now I know my perimeter and my area. Now we're going to say, okay, we know that our 2 expressions exist, but what if I tell you the value of x? What now? Suppose x equals 3 inches. What would the perimeter and the area equal? Well, we already know that the perimeter formula, we already know that the expression to represent our perimeter is a equals 4x plus 6. And we got that from our first question here. Now, if x equals 3, what that means is I'm going to substitute 3 in for my x in this expression. So we get a equals 4. Now the invisible operation that connects the 4 and the x is multiplication. So we're going to have 4 times 3, and then we bring down the plus 6. So we get the area equal to 4 times 3 is 12 plus 6. Oops. We're going to have to cut that whole section out of the video. Okay, so we know the perimeter formula, or the perimeter expression that we came up with, is 4x plus 6. Now, since we say suppose x is 3 inches, what that means we need to do here is we need to substitute 3 in for the 4 in on the expression for our perimeter. This will allow us to find the actual perimeter given that information. So when we go ahead and plug it in, we get perimeter equals 4 times 3 plus 6. and therefore the perimeter will be 12 plus 6, which is 18. Now units. It is important to know your units you're dealing with. Perimeter is a length, which means you have just one set of inches, which means your answer will have one set of inches. Now the case is different for area, and we'll talk about that now. The area formula or the area expression that we got earlier in the part right above was A equals 6x plus 15. Now, if we're going to substitute in the 3, if you don't really know what substitute means, remember when I'm not here in school, who's in my place? A substitute. So the 3 is going to substitute for the x, which means completely replace it. So we get A, which is our area, equal to 6 times 3 plus 15. When we simplify this further, we get 6 times 3 is 18. That's ugly 18 plus 15. And simplify it all the way, we end up with the area equaling 33. Now, when we're talking units, in the area, you are always units squared. So it'll be 33 inches squared. And that's because in your rectangle, you have 2 dimensions. So if this was inches, you'd be doing inches times inches. And inches times inches is inches squared. So remember, your perimeter is always just your units, and area is your units squared. All right, let's try another example. Think. Create an expression for the perimeter of the rectangle below. Again, we want to work smarter, not harder. Please notice that we have 2 of the same length. Pause the video and try to create an expression for your perimeter. Make sure it's the most simplified expression. If you have no idea, stay right here with me. All right, so our perimeter is going to be equal to our side A plus our other 2 sides. But because we have 2 of the same sides, we can simply say 2 times A plus 5 because I have 2 A plus 5s. From here, we can then simplify. So we end up with the perimeter equaling A from above, we just brought it down, plus 2A, because 2 times A is 2A, plus 10, which came from 2 times 5. And simplifying even further, we get the perimeter equal to A plus 2A is 3A, and bring down your plus 10. So now we have our expression for our perimeter. And let me guess that the what now is going to ask me to use it. So the what now says, suppose A is 7. And in this case, we'll say it's 7 feet. What would the perimeter be equal to? So in this case, we're going to take our expression for our perimeter, and we're going to substitute in again. But in this case, we're going to substitute 7 in for A. So 7 is going to take the place of the A, which means we then have the perimeter equals 3 times 7 plus 10. Simplify that further, you end up with the perimeter equaling 21 plus 10. And the final simplification would be 31. Now, what do you think the units would be on this particular perimeter? Well, I told you that 7 is 7 feet. We know that the perimeter is just the length, so it's only one version of that length, which means it would be 31 feet. All right, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, try these 2 on your own. I will simply complete them and put the answers up. If you have questions, make sure you ask in class. Okay, take a second to look over all your answers, your expression for the perimeter, your expression for the area, your 2 answers, your expression for the perimeter, your expression for the area, and again, your 2 answers. Something I want to point out, and I want you to be careful of, is recognizing when you can and cannot use the distributive property. Here, you can use the distributive property because you have 2 of opposite same sides. Here, you cannot use the distributive property because you don't have any 2 of the same sides. Additionally, when finding the area of a triangle, remember it's 1/2 the base. So it'd be 1/2 of 8 would happen first, which gives you 4. Then you can use the distributive property. Let us know if you have any questions in class. Thank you for watching and good luck.